How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, an animated visual book summary by Alexander Sandalis. 6 Ways to Make People Like You. Chapter 6. How to Make People Like You Instantly. There is one all-important law of human conduct. If we obey that law, we shall almost never get into trouble. In fact, that law, if obeyed, will bring us countless friends and constant happiness. The law is always make the other person feel important. William James said the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. Philosophers have been speculating on the rules of human relationships for thousands of years, and out of all the speculation there has evolved only one important precept. Zoroaster taught it to his followers in Persia 2,500 years ago. Confucius preached it in China 24 centuries ago. Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, taught it to his disciples in the Valley of the Han. Buddha preached it on the bank of the holy Ganges 500 years before Christ. The sacred book of Hinduism taught it among the stony hills of Judah 19 centuries ago, and Jesus summed it up in one thought. Probably one of the most important rules in the world. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Very simply translated into treat other people with concern and kindness that you would like them to show towards you. Treat people how you expect to be treated. But why it's so important? Because if you want the approval of those with whom you come in contact, if you want the recognition of your true worth, if you want a feeling that you are important in your world, if you don't want to listen to cheap, insincere flattery, but instead sincere appreciation, you need to obey this golden rule and give unto others what we have others give unto us. All the time, everywhere, every day. For example, we're going to bring it back from centuries ago. If a waitress or waiter brings us a meal and it's the wrong meal, simply using the phrase, "I'm sorry to trouble you, but I prefer," whatever they missed out on. And usually they'll probably reply, "No problem at all," and we'll be glad to change the mistake that's happened. Simply because you've shown respect. Little phrases such as "I'm sorry to trouble you," "Would you be so kind as to," "Won't you please," "Would you mind," "Thank you." Little courtesies like these oil the cogs of the monotonous grind of everyday life, and incidentally, they are the hallmark of good breeding. They are the hallmark of good communication. So that's how you can apply it to your everyday life, because we get caught up all the time. We get caught up in our conversations and we can slip in these little phrases that mean so much to people who go about their day and maybe being treated disrespectfully a lot of the time without sincere care. The unvarnished truth is that almost all people you meet feel themselves superior to you in some way. And a sure way to their hearts is to let them realize in some subtle way that you realize their importance and recognize it sincerely. Emerson said, "Every man I meet is my superior in some way, and that I learn of him." You can learn from everybody. Everybody has their skills and strengths. You have to humble yourself to be able to make that person feel important, so you can learn from them. And they can teach you. A short story of a businessman who took Carnegie's course on influence and communication. This gentleman and his wife drove to Long Island to visit their family, and he was in this beautiful old classic home of this older aunt. And the way he conversed with her was with inquisitiveness, was with appreciation and sincerity, because he commented and complimented how beautiful it was. As she exclaimed the stories of the house and how her husband who had passed, how they had built it and had dreamed of it and planned it all themselves, he listened, so he executed another one of the laws and rules and principles in this book, and being a good listener. And he combined that with showing appreciation, making her feel important. He expressed the admiration, and as a result, and by the time they got to the garage, she showed him this classic Packard car, mint condition. She told him how her husband had bought it from before he passed. And since she realized he appreciated nice things, she was going to give him the car. But he wasn't even related to this woman, so he didn't feel comfortable at all. But after insisting and insisting, she realized how much he appreciated beautiful things. And he couldn't not accept the car without hurting her feelings. But this woman had been left alone, lonely in her house for so many years with her husband passed. So she just craved a little human warmth and genuine appreciation. No one gave it to her. And when she found it, her gratitude couldn't adequately express itself with anything less than a gift of her cherished Packard car. So by showing appreciation and making someone feel important, you can receive things in return, although you shouldn't ever expect it. But oftentimes it can happen because of how you make a person feel. So while this principle is very obvious, while it is often a cliche among our society, it is often forgotten. We have to repeat the most simplest things because most people don't do them. Remember, principle 6, make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. If you've made it this far through the video to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you know. It's really important to me that you follow me on social media, but only if you actually intend on watching and or reading the content I produce. Do not subscribe just because you think I'm okay. Hold yourself to high standards to only learn from those you think you can attain great value from.